to Rocky Mountain Sasquatch's Pod 5 is where we're at this point. This week we're going to go over, since we had so much activity in Rough Hollow, we've taken quite a few of the weeks, 3 of the weeks, and we're going to discuss what happened in each 3 of those weeks. Anybody that follows us knows that we actually spent a lot of time. In fact, that's the only spot, the only canyon where our entire team has been together at one given time and squatched the whole weekend. And that was basically up here in Rough Hollow, the Sasquatch Canyon area. So we're going to discuss this the very first time we're there, and from day one. Footprints being found, wood knocks, things being tossed. It's been just a plethora of different stuff that literally just comes together and has made, I'm sure, 7 years of running up and down mountains and stuff with these guys all worth it, because it all comes to fruition here. This is where it really starts coming at you non-stop and being really an active canyon for us. We're also going to take a couple minutes and talk about a couple different videos. If you're familiar with our website at RMSO.net or not, it's changed a little bit. I've thrown up a community news page and gave them an own page just for what happens in the community. And both these videos I've actually posted there. One is thanks to Sasquatch Canada. Honestly, I saw it on his and checked it out and really liked it, so I thought we'd throw it up on ours and talk about it for a few minutes, because just the whole mindset of the kids playing in the treehouse and it's Bigfoot. I know it's an older video, but it's the first time I had seen it and said, hey, I actually like the video. The whole context of everything put together really makes the kids credible as far as I'm concerned, and I think these guys agree. And last thing we're going to talk about is the creature in the giant sequoias. This is something else that Thinker Thunker we come across on his site. He did an excellent breakdown of that video and what it is. I think we all agree that if it is some guy in a monkey suit, that is by far the best monkey suit we've ever seen. That's ever.
Jenny and I were really excited that he did that breakdown, because several years ago it was one of our favorite suspect Bigfoot videos out there.
When he jumped up over the thing down at the guy and the guy takes off running. That was the first thing I saw about it in a long time.
And you know, it kind of got swept under the rug after a little while by the Bigfoot community, just because the person that shot the footage had an association with the movie industry. And now that Thinker Thunker has come out with the breakdown, I'm really excited. It's one of my favorite videos. Again, I really like the job he did on it, and he kind of woke up the Sasquatch community to, you know, hey, this probably wasn't a hoax.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like it. So let's get started. We want to jump straight on. We actually got the video of the kids just here. There's just a couple points that we want to make out on. You don't really get a good view of it. I mean, it's obviously it's something that looks like it's moving bipedal out in the trees, but the kids are what really sells it, and just the excitement in them. Anybody knows that, you know, you get a gulp. Jen pointed this out, and I didn't hear it until Jen pointed it out. But this poor little kid's over here, and just that gulp, like, oh my gosh, what are we looking at here? I mean, you can tell the kid's just freaking out of, what am I looking at here?
Just let me know when you want me to bring the camera over.
Bring it on over. Let's check this out. I mean, it's funny just hearing this kid gulp and pop off a couple profanities, and then you're going to share that with your parents being a kid?
You might have to angle the laptop more towards me this way. Sorry viewers, I'm going to get this set up a little bit better.
Yeah, that's just pretty good. We've actually played it where I can play it and we can do a rewind slow if it comes to looking at it taking its strides, and we're going to check out their footprints as well, because just having the mindset of not only getting the video, but going back later and looking at the footprints is pretty cool. So we're going to let this actually play for just a minute.
And you get to see how wide it is comparative to the trees.
Yeah.
God, what is it? Oh God, I saw it again. It looks like a Bigfoot. It's there again. Yeah, Bigfoot.
The kids' reactions are genuine to me.
Better not be invading our house.
There's this gulp right there. Gulp! I just love it.
We rewind it back to the gulp.
Yeah, we'll take this back a little bit here. Just the whole...
There's 3 different things that sell me on this video, and one's the kids' reactions.
Yep. There it is.
There's
There's
this
a little bit.
gulp.
It better not be invading our house. Don't run. Fix it, Phil. Let's go. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? No. Let's creep through here.
You get a really good silhouette of it standing there.
Michael, don't
Here.
go too close. What? There. It's over there.
I just don't know exactly where it is. But you'll catch a silhouette
Put
of
him
it
to that
just kind
tree
of
over
standing.
there.
Right there.
No, I don't think it's a good idea. No. Hey, there it is. Wait, I'm running it.
Oh,
Okay,
anyway.
That's another part that sells it is they find the footprints.
I thought it's all out back here. See, there's only like the tree out there. And look, there's
And it definitely looked like an upright figure to me out in the forest that they were freaking out
so
on.
big.
And who else would walk in the snow with bare feet?
Bare feet.
Yeah.
This cute
And-
little boy.
I'm guessing that kid is probably got a 7-inch footprint, so that looks like a 14, 15-inch footprint to
This
me.
little kid looked like it was a little girl about 10 years old or so, is what it
Uh-huh.
looked like. So, anyway, just the whole innocence of it all, and then putting it all together, it's cool. It's worth it.
Will you start at the beginning when they're in the treehouse, and let's just let it run all the way through to this point for the viewers?
That's a couple minutes.
Well, we can talk about it while it's going.
This is on our site. You want to watch the whole thing. Also, Sasquatch Canada, he actually has it. I mean, that's where I got it.
Nice. Anything happening? What is that? What? Oh, look. It's like a bear.
A bear.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
It looks like a large
Oh my
upright
God.
figure to me.
What is it? Oh God, I saw it again.
And there's a couple of
It
times
looks
where
like
I
a
think I can see
Bigfoot.
tail.
There
You see it
again.
actually, you'll see it good walking strides right there.
Oh, I see it. It better not be invading our house.
See, the kids are in a tree house and the Bigfoot's in the forest on the
Don't run.
other side of their
Fix it,
house.
Phil. Let's go.
I think that's one of the reasons why they run towards it, is because they're actually running towards their house.
Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? No, let's creep through here. Michael, don't go too
That
close.
little Michael's a brave
There,
kid.
it's over there. It disappeared into that tree over there? No. No, I don't think it's a good idea. No. Hey, there it is. Wait, I'm running it. Okay, I'm
I just don't think these kids hoaxed on this. I think this is genuine. Those prints look real.
Look at my foot compared to his.
The reaction was real.
The toes, individual.
I just don't see 10-year-old kids being able to pull something like this off.
Here, look at the toes. Look at the toes. Toe.
And the weight of this creature to be able to displace the
See,
snow
look
that
at
way.
that one. The toe.
That's pretty good. We like the video.
We just went over the points of why we like it so much.
Not to mention we're all parents, so just the whole innocence of kids freaking out. It's cool to me.
Well, I don't think my kids would have ran towards it like that. Even though those little kids were scared, that little Michael, he wanted to go out in the woods after him. That's a brave little kid.
That's cool. That's cool. Good for them. It's their backyard though, so you know you're always Always a little bit more brave when you're standing in your own yard.
Yeah.
A little bit, for point, you know. It's home.
It's like, no, it wasn't that they were out camping or anything.
So this is starting off August 31st, right before school starts, pretty much Labor Day weekend, was first Sasquatch Canyon experience for Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization.
It was actually not our first Sasquatch Canyon. It was our first time in the side
Rough Hollow.
canyon of Rough Hollow in the
Yeah.
Sasquatch Canyon area. And we call it part of the Sasquatch Canyon area because it's a side canyon off of Sasquatch Canyon. And it's our first time venturing into it. The reason being is 6 months earlier, 10 miles up Sasquatch Canyon is where we found the 17-inch footprints, where we casted one of them. And so we studied that area, we stayed in that area where we found the footprint, and it was also, we also call it the 1977 sighting location. 1977, there was a pretty famous sighting there, and I think that sighting is part of the reason that it got named Sasquatch Canyon. A lot of hunters from the Price area and stuff nicknamed this area Sasquatch Canyon, so that's what we call it. And about 600 yards from that the 77 sighting location, April 6th, 2013, Jenny and I found 3 17-inch footprints, and one of them is the best we ever found. The toes and everything are great. As a matter of fact, you go to our website, the main photo at the top of our website is that 17-inch footprint. Well, we spent a lot of time on that side of the canyon that year every time we would go on an expedition there, and we kept finding 14-inch footprints, 12-inch footprints, 13, blah, 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 blah. But finally, 10 miles away, Rough Hollow, we went up there on the 31st, and we got 3 or 4 miles back in there, maybe further. It might have been further than that. I think Bigfoot Highway is actually 7 miles back. But anyway, the Bigfoot Highway, we find the 17-inch footprint again. We find 3 of them. And we're able to take photos and videos of one of them because it was so deep and defined.
Should have got a cast of it, but didn't.
We got pictures of all these on our homepage of our website, by the way.
Under the Galleria, you'll see them there. They're marked.
This footprint is what got us to get the casting material. Because beforehand we were trying to use that foam, and we
Oh,
really
the one
didn't
on
have-
April 6th, we used foam. And if you guys don't mind, I'm going to go grab that and show people why they shouldn't use foam.
No.
If you guys don't mind me running downstairs and grabbing it, I'll be
Bonzo.
right back.
So anyway,
Yeah, the first footprint we ever found, we used foam on it because we were told that it works just as good and whatnot, and it doesn't. It doesn't dry. You have to stand there for like 2-3 hours, especially if it's cold and wet, for it to even set up. And then when you pull it out, it still expands after that.
Yeah, it kept expanding. If you guys will go to our website and look at the main picture, and it's also in the gallery, we got several pictures of it. The toes are some of the best well-defined toes of any footprint we found in Utah. I mean, they were way separated, they were deep, and the expansion of the foam distorted and destroyed the toes in the cast. So we're not using foam anymore. It'll always be some type of a plaster or a dental type casting. But still, you got the gist. At least we brought something home that day.
Yeah. But it did expand an inch in diameter and width after the fact.
such a shame.
I know.
That's alright, it's the first
It was a
time
learning
we got it on
experience.
video, got pictures of it, there's a lot of it out there of it, so.
That's true.
So,
So that was 6 months earlier. So on the 31st, we finally caught up to the 17-incher, and this weekend probably produced another 10 expeditions into the Rough Hollow area, and that area where we just found the 17-incher, every week that we would go back there, every expedition, we would find new footprints, and this place got nicknamed the Bigfoot Highway because of it. We've probably found 35 maybe 40 footprints in this little meadow where they seem to keep crossing back and forth between the land of the giants, and they seem to go up the mountain on the opposite side of the place, this other side canyon that we call Land of Giants. And it got neat nickname Land of Giants because Jenny backtracked footprints back in there, and some 17-inch and some 14-inch footprints she backtracked back in there, and several expeditions later we started finding 19-inch footprints, this and that. So,
not to mention the jungle gym structure back there is massive. It's huge.
and then there's also one of the teepee type, territorial type structures, we call them. Do you want to show off
There's
some
a big
pictures?
I'm serious. That tree leaning over that leads clean up that
Yeah.
thing is what stands out the most on that the whole thing. Because you could be full of duck. We'd have absolutely no problem if I didn't worry about falling off the damn tree, climbing up there and standing up on them branches, and it overlooks so much. And that's right in the middle of that.
I'll tell you what,
TP structure.
when she
right
was in
the middle of
grade
that
school,
big
you were in
jungle
grade
gym.
school, and I was grade school. As being kids, we had ran right up that.
Oh yeah, wouldn't even have thought twice about it.
I know I played on stuff like
belly
that
now.
when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I'm not as brave as I was when I was a kid. My
Not
bones still
17
snap.
years
They're
old
not-
anymore,
They're not
man.
soft anymore.
not 10 anymore.
That's right.
I did crawl out on that big, huge, round one that goes over top of the big hole.
Where it looks like you can jump and they swing or something across.
Well,
that.
I was
That's
out
what
there
I'm
and I was
talking
like bouncing on it to see if I could get it to move, and it didn't move for me.
about. Yeah, it's massive. It's huge. You ever get it? It's huge. It's cool. That's one of my favorite parts of all that area right there is just right there. That and the whole look of. I can't wait to pitch a tent right in the middle of Sasquatch Highway. I think
Yeah,
that's
we're
just
gonna
cool.
do that this summer.
That's one of our summer expeditions. We're gonna backpack camp into the Bigfoot Highway, and it's a nice level spot with soft grass and stuff. So hey, we're gonna pitch some tents and we're gonna stay a weekend back in there.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Might ruffle a little bit of feather out there.
I hope it just produces the same type of evidence this next year coming up as it did last year. Make it even that much better, because every week something new is there. New footprints, new structures.
I believe we had 10 expeditions back in there, and there was only
Handprints.
one expedition that we didn't find anything, and it was our most recent one in the middle of winter time.
During the elk hunt.
It was at the end of the elk hunt, yeah, and
Many reasons why there shouldn't be
we
something
didn't
back there.
we didn't find a footprint back in there that time, but
That was it.
it's been a fabulous year. Generally, the history that I know of Bigfooting in my life, I may go an entire season and only find a couple of footprints or hear a vocalization, but this year we had about 4 prime spots that we had located over the years where things had happened, and we decided to focus on these places, and I'm glad we did. It's the biggest year I've ever had. I'm sure it's the biggest year any of these guys have ever had, except for the year that Derek actually had a personal sighting. But for physical evidence, I've never found so many footprints. I've never been able to cast so many. I've never heard so many vocalizations. A lot of these Rough Hollow, Yellowstone Canyon, and Bear Wallow expeditions, we have found more evidence in a single day than I personally have ever found in an entire season. So it was just an outstanding year. I just cannot tell you. We have the same expectations for 2014, but who knows? Time will tell. They may not be in these locations next year. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll have a pod or a group, whatever, stay or come back to these places. That's what we're hoping for.
More and more and more though, and I'm still working on it, but we can start painting better pictures of where they go, what times of years and stuff. So, we might develop a point where we know that every 3rd or 4th year they're moving between different locations, just kind of keeping a mix of it all. You
Yeah,
know?
that type of research will be valuable in the future to put us on top of them.
Still working on it, but it's starting to paint better pictures, so either way.
This year, I think our past research has helped us be lucky. You know, I mean, you did Bigfooting. There has to be a little bit of luck, but our past research has really put us on top of them. And Derek's been building a database to help us draw a better picture of their movements, when and where they're at, and hopefully we can use that to project where they're going to be back in the future, and hopefully we can
Give us
keep
a little
finding
higher
physical
percentage chance
evidence.
of seeing it.
And of course, the icing on the cake, this is what we're after. The ultimate goal is a sighting and a recorded sighting. Video preferably, a picture next, but that's what the ultimate goal is. And the type of research, the databases we're doing is we're using all this to increase our odds of a sighting. And if you're finding physical evidence, that's where they're hanging out. And I think we have really good odds. I think we have better than average odds for a research team of one day getting this video evidence that we seek.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we have DNA to back it up. We still have like a pound of suspect Bigfoot hair that two universities that both requested samples have still not been able to identify. They have not been able to say, you know, this is an elk, this is a person, this is a Bigfoot. It's still unidentified, and the circumstances that we found it under. So, you know, we hopefully have DNA. I mean, that remains to be seen. But our ultimate goal for this organization isn't to harm one, isn't necessarily DNA, but we would love that. We do want indisputable video evidence. That's really our number one goal.
Well,
and
you know
if we
what?
can get anything else on the run, we're going to get it.
You know what? It's the experience. The end of the day. You know, video is video, but just the memory is unstoppable.
Oh, and I'm a
I mean,
camping
it doesn't go
addict.
anywhere.
I'm a camping addict, and I might as well be camping where the Bigfoot are getting seen.
I'm just being honest. Number one is just to be able to get out there and see it again. Two, if we can share it, great. If not, I'm sorry, we're running up and down the mountains. So it's that experience that I'm after, and I just jump on the bandwagon because it's going to happen at some point or another. That's my point.
Yeah.
You know, that desire internal to make that happen, to figure out a way of being able to repeat that occurrence is that's the key to the next step in researching these animals, and that's what I want to make happen.
Well, I feel like we've spent so much time in Rough Hollow that I think they realize we're not back there to harm them. I'm guaranteeing about 90% of the people that hike back in there, I bet you they set up targets and they practice shoot. And I bet you just about anybody that goes back in there, and there's not very many people. We spent a lot of time back in there last season, and only one other time did we see people go back in there, and they were deer hunters. And they only spent a day in there, and we never did see another hunting party come in there, nor did we see anybody hike in there any other time of the year.
Ever.
So nobody really goes back in there, and I'm sure the people that go back in there, they shoot it up. That's just, you know, when people go out to places like that, you know, I got my gun, I might as well target practice, and we don't do that. And because we're not shooting it up and acting like a threat, I think they're starting to trust us and come in closer. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Mike,
No
Mike and I
dogs.
got
No
the eye
dogs
shine from
running around
15
there.
feet away, and we could smell it and hear it walking. And I can't call it a Bigfoot because all we got is eye shine, but we got 3 different types of physical evidence. At least it was physical to us. Me and Mike could smell the skunky BO. We could hear it walking on the river rocks away from us, and before you could hear it walking away from us, you got its eye shine that Derek did a brilliant breakdown on, and the eye shine, in my opinion,
It's almost most compelling to a sense. Just
it was
Holy cow.
8 to 9 feet off the ground, And then when we started walking towards it, because we couldn't see it, we can't see the IR light that was that only the camera could pick up. So only the camera seen the eye shine back, and me and Mike's pretty much in pitch blackness. And we walked straight towards it, and you see its eyes flipped the opposite direction of where we were coming, and it gave us space. And that's when we could hear the rock clacks. And I'm like, "Hey, Mike, I hear something walking." I mean, I didn't say I heard something walking the rocks. I go, "I hear rock clacks." And he goes, "Yeah, it sounds like something's walking on the rocks away from us." And then it wasn't till later that we find the eye shine, and it's that moment in time that it was walking away from us. So, Rough Hollow has a lot of compelling evidence. Should we show them some of the pictures?
Not to mention, I mean, prior to the big eye shine that's 9 feet in the air, there was quite a few other eye shines within a 1 minute time frame leading up to that. That it obviously wasn't the same animal. You know, completely different animals, halfway up bushes, you know, and one that was even down further, and who knows, you know, they go on all fours, so it could have been any one of them, could have been something completely different, but I really like the breakdown too, actually. That whole eye shine video is just awesome, to be able to catch that. That's awesome. I don't know, we do got a lot to talk about. I mean, between everything that happened, I mean, this led to a whole slew of expeditions into this place because of these 3 days. 19-inch footprint, the biggest footprint we've ever got was on the 3rd week of going back in there that you guys find right in the middle of Rough Hollow. Pictures are everywhere of it.
That was on
I mean,
Bigfoot
that's
Highway.
huge. Bigfoot Highway, right where we're going to pitch camp. I'm looking forward to it too. That just sounds just like so much damn fun. Just the whole, taking my dog. I'm sorry, I'm taking my dog. I gotta take my dog. So, Shelly, if you're listening, dog's gotta go. Just because if something's gonna sneak up on my tent in the middle of the night, it's gonna meet my Akbosh. That's just that.
This dog's
simple.
the size of a bear.
My dog's one that, you know, she's up to here, you just pat her right here. You know, she just is huge freaking. They're bigger out there, but she is a big, God, beautiful puppy. She's
Yeah,
a baby.
we like to change it up and bring in a dog once in a while. You know, they have 10 times, 100 times better senses than us, and a dog may get us a sighting, especially at nighttime if a curious Bigfoot sneaks through our camp. You know, I mean, we may never even know it snuck through our camp, but a dog sure in a heck's gonna let us know that it's there.
She will let us know too. I have no doubt she'll wake that whole camp up. That's cool. I look forward to it. But that's week 3. We still have just been talking about week 1 in this so far, and how much evidence was just pulled out just that first week, and it continued on. 17-inch footprints. Now you say you only ran across those 17-inch footprints. How often did you run into the 17-inch footprints? You went 6 months. From the first one that was in Sasquatch Canyon before you ran into another 17.
We found 3 of them 6 months prior.
That was one encounter.
Right.
You know, that was one out in that weekend. You found 3.
And our first podcast, our first roundtable is about that incident. If you guys want to go back and watch that one, that's the one where Derek kind of takes me and Jenny through the encounter again, and us getting rushed by some unseen creature while we're casting the footprint and everything. You guys ought to go watch that one. But this is 6 months later. All we're finding is 14-inch footprints and smaller every time we come into this area. The whole 6 months later, then we find the 17-inch footprint. 2 weeks later, we find a 19-inch footprint, and these big boys are staying back deep in Rough Hollow.
And and this is all relatively the same area, the same habitation.
Anything that branches off the Sasquatch Canyon, I consider the Sasquatch Canyon area.
Look at the growth of it too, though. First footprints right there in Sasquatch Canyon hits. You got something rushing tree limbs, just basically more trying to tell you get the hell out of its. Out of
it was trying to intimidate.
It was trying to intimidate you.
It was snapping and stomping and pacing back and forth just out of sight from the tree line. I thought whatever it was going to show itself. When it first rushed the tree line, I thought it was an elk or a moose that was just going to bust through the tree line. And I imagined, from what I could hear, some big game with its big antlers slamming against the trees, which doesn't make sense because in April, anything with an antler don't have antlers in April. So, you know what I'm thinking about. So, was the Sasquatch breaking tree branches, and then it stops just out of sight of the tree line and starts pacing back and forth, snapping and breaking stuff. I mean, me and Jenny were tripping out, and the only thing that kept us there was letting that cast set up, or otherwise we would have bailed.
The whole gradual increase to a point that you're 5 feet from this thing in the middle of the frickin' night, 10 feet from this thing.
Oh, we're talking about being last encounter with the eyeshine?
It all could be related in the fact of getting a little bit more gutsy, a little bit more ballsy, getting closer to us, getting closer to you guys. Because like you said, it's spent so much time in there, that scent stagnates with it. It knows exactly who you are. And I guarantee you, it's tracked it into other places, you know, top of Cedar Mountain and stuff, that it smells it. It knows you guys are
We also leave game cams behind, and I'm sure the game cams are just covered in our scent.
Yeah, I honestly
I'm sure they are.
You know, spend another, who knows how fast it'll actually be. But eventually this thing's going to show its face, and we just got to be 100%
whether it's an accident that we get to see it, or it gets comfortable enough to purposely show itself, or it's going to get seen.
Or timing, because we walked up into a situation to where it's protecting something. And it's going to intentionally distract us from what's really going on. And it's going to work.
It's like the loud wood cracks.
It's going to work, because no matter
Giants.
that thing comes out and shows its face, I don't give a shit what's going on. That's now our focus, so it's going to work. It'll fix. It'll do whatever it meant to do.
Bigfoot's walking from tree to tree. I definitely ain't freaking going to check out what's behind
Even though what's behind us might be the other two getting away. You know, but still. You know.
Yeah, that reminds me of the Paul Freeman video.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, people that have broken it down say there's a couple other Bigfoots that are getting off, that are escaping a different direction from where it's going. It's like the alpha male is letting the female and a youngster, or a couple of youngsters, get away. I've checked out the video a zillion times because I love it. I don't see the other two Bigfoot that supposedly escape, but he may very well have showed himself on purpose as a distraction to help get some more younger, more feeble family members to get away.
Might have been situational. Might have had a local kill or something like that.
He sure didn't seem. He didn't seem
nonchalant, like he didn't care.
Like whatever.
You know, just kind of looked at it like, dude, I'm here.
And I love how Paul Freeman says they only show themselves when you're alone.
And it lumbered along all like smooth and slow. I wasn't worried.
I loved that video long before Dr. Meldrum come forth and said that the casts taken at that location are genuine. I mean, now that it's resurfaced and everybody's like, this is good evidence. I mean, my gut feeling years before Meldrum did this, I was like, I think this is the real deal. This Freeman isn't pulling a hoax, and that Sasquatch is right out in the open, and where its neck comes out of its chest is totally unhuman-like and would be the most uncomfortable costume, because someone's head would be stuck in the chest neck area of this costume that someone spent 20 grand on, that never got used on a film. It was just for a 30-second hoax that nobody ever made any money on.
Speaking of Creature of the Giant Sequoias, is what we're going to talk about, which
we all like.
We all like. I mean, that is one hell of a costume, man. I mean, the definition that's in that costume, the hair, not to mention the actual hair that actually, there's that actually again, I say it a lot. The hair that's coming down the back of it, I mean, it's like the length of the hair that we found. I mean, to us, it seems to me, it just seems that it matches what evidence we've come across on what that hair might look. It's what I see. It's that visual that was created when you guys first saw that hair and it was picking up the big branch hanging out of it.
Oh, when we found the hair,
Yeah.
you got a visual off of seeing the hair?
Absolutely.
Did it flash you back to your side?
Yeah. That's what, and maybe that's another reason too, because it reminds me of that silhouette I saw of that animal walking underneath that streetlight, and seeing the silhouette of the hair and the mats coming down off the backs of its arms and stuff. Something.
That's crazy.
It's right there. It's right there. That visual, and that's kind of what I see there. Other than you actually see hair, bright red. Is how the break.
You were looking at it at night under a street light.
Yeah. So you got the hue of it from behind. So you got the silhouette of the body just walking, coming towards.
I like the description in our first round table that you talk about. You got to meet Mark Eaton, and if you guys don't know who Mark Eaton is, he stands 7'4". He was the center for the Utah Jazz forever, and Derek got to meet the guy.
Almost the exact same time frame. Went to a Jazz basketball game with, in fact, Chris, who I was with at the sighting. Chris, Eric, and his dad, and them. We all packed it up and went to a Jazz basketball game.
Derek says it dwarfed 300-pound, 7'4" Mark Eaton.
Broad-wise, absolutely, and just height, I would have to say was about the same, but just the girth, the size of the thing was way bigger than him. And I literally walked up to Mark Eaton, and I'm standing there, and I come up to about here on this guy at the time. I mean, literally the top of his freaking thigh, looking up at this guy, thinking, where the hell did this guy come from, man? What the hell? The guy was huge, but 3'6", just this little tiny dude.
So let me.
That's crazy.
So if Derek was hoaxed that night, that means like someone as rare as Mark Eaton, who stands 7'4", got a really nice costume that adds about twice the girth, the chest, and the shoulders and stuff, and he walks through some podunk farming neighborhood at the time. It's not a farming area anymore. All the farms and the land and everything has been sold off, and it's a bunch of neighborhoods now. But when it happened to Derek, it was pretty much mostly farmland and
small community.
And it was also, there was a lot of privately owned land that hadn't been cultivated or anything. There was the old growth trees and stuff were back.
Yeah, absolutely.
I grew up kind of within about 4 miles of where all this happened to Derek and everything, and I just, remember it was just all farmlands and open country and stuff back in those days.
Yeah. That video's great. I really, really like that creature video. No matter what it is, awesome job.
Well, whatever and whoever did this, they used real hair. Because I don't know anyone who can make shiny, bouncy hair. That's not real. That they used real hair, or it was a real creature with real hair. I mean, there is no doubt about it. It's shiny, it's bouncy. And another thing is its arms are way, way too long to be a human. And if they did use a suit, which I'm not saying that they did, how could they grasp leaves and twigs as it's running by with a fake arm? I mean, it's grabbing limbs and trees as it's running by, and there's no human in this world that has arms that long.
And it actually looked like it reached down and jumped that stump.
Yeah, it did.
It didn't just hurdle the damn thing. It looks like it grabbed it and kind of jumped.
Like it hurdled a fence.
Yeah.
Several years
like
ago,
you would jump over a fence.
Several years ago, the first time I saw the video and stuff, what really made me think it was authentic was when it runs past the guy filming it, it's grabbing a hold of stuff. Well, the arms are obviously too long for a human, so how is someone in a suit whose arms in the suit end right about here, how is he able to grasp things naturally with whatever's extending. It's just so natural to
And
me.
its hands are huge. I mean, like, it's huge hands, and its fingers
Out
are
of proportion
moving.
with a human
Yep.
hands to me.
Yeah. And who did the breakdown on it?
Thinker Thunker.
Yeah, thanks Thinker
Thunker.
Thunker for bringing that video life in the Bigfoot community, because I've always liked it, and I don't know why we swept it under the carpet just because the guy's associated with Hollywood. I mean, the dude's got a $20,000 suit, and he did a 30-second hoax with it, and it never got used in any type of movie and stuff. I don't know anybody that's got 20 grand to flush down the toilet for 30 seconds worth of a hoax.
No. Not only that, but I don't know if you saw at the very end of the clip, but it might be a male Bigfoot.
Yes, there's definitely a male part there. I mean, the Patty video's got the female part. This has got the male part, and
That's swinging.
it just...
But it is a very good video that, if you watch it, especially the breakdown, it's a good one. And it's close, and it's nice, it's shiny.
If you go out to our community site, it's the second video. I got two of them sitting there. Giant creature and giant sequoia, and then a closer look that point directly to Thinker Thunkers. Just look at the picture yourself there and tell me what's hanging between this guy's legs. It's that simple. It's right there. You don't have to watch the video. It's right there.
www.rmso.net, and then from the homepage, all you do is go up to the
Community news.
It's Bigfoot Community News, right?
I think that's what
Yeah.
Bigfoot Community News.
And we've got all of the news stories that we think are worthy. If we think something's a hoax, we don't put something up there. There's a few hoaxers in the Bigfoot community that we won't name because we're not going to give them any publicity, but you're not going to find their videos on our website.
No.
It's only things between us that we deem authentic and
Or what we like.
and if we feel like we get hoaxed, we'll pull them off. But
Or
what
we
we
can't
got on there right
explain.
now, yeah.
I mean, we can't explain anything that we see or hear or whatever, or, I mean, we'd have proof.
Oh, I updated it, and I guess I updated it without... I'm going to get the kids' video back up on there because I had that up there, but I updated it from a couple different websites, and apparently I took it down. Oops. So I'll get that back up there and update it with the kids' video up in the treehouse that we had, because that obviously is not here anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
I'll
giant
get that.
sequoias.
No,
Yeah.
the kids
No,
video.
the kids' video.
With the tree house.
With the treehouse.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not on our website.
Yeah, I had it here. Where it is now, I'm not positive. It's not there. So I'll fix that and I'll get it back up there.
Sweet.
Go.
Do you want to show them the footprints that we found on the Bigfoot Highway during those 3 weeks? Well, we got the 17-incher that we want to show a picture of that's on our website. We got the 14-inch cast that we got the next week, and then the week after we got the 19-incher and the 19-inch cast. And while he's bringing that up, I want to show you this is the one that Brody and I cast in week 2. Week 1, I don't think Jenny and I had casting material on week 1 for that. I
We
don't
didn't.
know why we didn't get. Yeah, that's probably why we didn't get that 17-incher.
It was deep and beautiful, and it was totally
And Derek will show you
castable.
the picture. But this is the one that Brody and I got. This wasn't on the Bigfoot Highway. This was actually on a section of animal trail leading to it. And we found like 5 of them, and this was the only one castable. Everything was too steep, and this was actually in a level enough spot that we were able to cast it. And then on the 3rd week, we were able to, and we've showed you guys this one a few times, but this round table that we're doing today is about these 3 expeditions, these 3 first expeditions in the Rough Hollow. But there's the 19-incher, and we've probably found a couple of dozen of these 19-inchers, and so far,
We've casted
I
2.
mean, just because, yeah, we've casted 2, and just because you find a footprint doesn't mean you're going to be able to cast it.
No.
So, we
especially
cast
in the
what we
Rocky
can.
Mountains.
They don't sink in deep enough.
Or they're on a steep incline where all your casting material is going to slop. I mean, you can build a dam at the bottom, you know, put some wood or plastic or whatever, but if it's too damn steep, it's not worth your while. If you're on a 35 or a 45 degree angle, you got to build a dam this big, and then you got to use a gallon of plaster. You know what I mean? It's just
It's impossible.
It's nearly impossible. We're not going to call it impossible, but I'm not going to spend an entire day trying to cast something on a 45 degree angle.
You could cast that on a big 45 degree angle, man, and then work it up into a big old light fixture for your end table.
Yeah, but you can't carry that much
There you
in
go,
there.
big old huge 19-inch footprint of Bigfoot that you took, that you turned into a lamp. Cool. I'm sorry, somebody's going to pay for that.
Oh, I would pay for it.
I'm not going to carry it.
I'm not backpacking out with that much, or backpacking in with that much casting material either. We usually take 1 to 2 kits because they're heavy, and I mean, and we got to bring a lot of water in on just even a day hike. I mean, we got a lot of pounds in those backpacks, and this casting material, you know, water's heavy, and it's twice as heavy as water.
But you don't need clean water to do it.
No, but there isn't always a
So
water
you bring
available.
clean. It's true, but you know,
I'm
a lot
just-
of the time, one way or another.
Yeah, you can drink.
Worst
You can
case
drink your
scenario,
water
worst
and
case
go
scenario.
and go get whatever water to make it and everything. I'm just saying, the water that you need to drink in the day, I usually bring about 6 liters of water for a day hike, and sometimes that's not even enough, and that's heavy. And then to bring casting material, that adds to the weight. So we're usually only bringing 1 to 2 casting kits.
We all
Fair
bring,
enough.
whoever comes brings 1 apiece.
Just had to throw in 2 cents, man.
Yeah, we don't necessarily need to bring in the water for the casting kit.
Can I bring the camera over and you can show some of the pictures on our website? If you guys can't see these pictures well enough, just go to our website. They're in the gallery. But there's the first 17-inch footprint that we
can
found in
actually
Rough
see
Hollow.
it right here. It's what it looks like to me.
I think the
There's
side
the
angle
toes.
actually shows it the
We'll
best.
flip over to the next one. This is the side angle right here. You see the toes and it coming back down. All the way back down to about here is what it looks like. Comes back down the hill. And then your toes is what it's looking like to me.
Yeah, this was on a flat enough surface that we could have casted it. For some reason, we didn't have casting material with us that day. I think I ran out and just hadn't replenished, and Sasquatch Canyon had really dried up for us. So we weren't expecting to find anything, and it's funny, when you least expect it, you find something, and when you go up there expecting to find something, you don't find jack. So
It's a true
that's how
statement.
squatching goes.
That whole area, the type of terrain, all of Bigfoot Highway looks like this.
Yeah.
It's almost
It's a great
like a
place for
big
footprints.
spongy kind of meadow that, sure, there's rocks, but it's nowhere near. It's all this small.
It's not as rocky as the rest of the
Yep.
Rough Hollow.
And it doesn't get a lot of sunlight. Just from positioning in the canyon itself, it's probably in shade almost all the time. A lot of the time.
Do you got the 14-inch one that we casted?
That's a snap off.
Oh yeah, that's looking into the Bigfoot Highway. That snap off. Oh, that's the 19-incher that we casted on our 3rd expedition there.
Yeah.
That's our
Yeah.
3rd weekend
That's
at Rough Hollow, and that was the 19-incher, and we just got through showing you the casting of that. I don't know if we got the 14-incher on here. It would be up, I think. You know what? We don't have a picture
No,
of
this
it.
is this is the other 19-inch that we got later
That's
on.
when Derek was
when
with
I
us.
was there, and that was in the middle of a
And there was
little
5.
creek bed.
There was 5 definitive ones, and we casted the best of the 5.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't have them.
That's cool. You can't get everything on there. We'll eventually get that one back up on there.
Yeah, I don't have
We
it.
do have a video of of us casting the 14-inch footprint. It is called let's see, let me look at the list of our expeditions. It's the second one. What do we call it? If you go to YouTube, RMSO YouTube, it is called Bigfoot Expedition, Sasquatch Canyon, and Rough Hollow, 14-inch footprint casted. That's the one that we don't have a picture of.
All right. Cool.
Those 3 weekends that we went in there was the first weekend that we found the bear footprints. The bear had dug up that rock and was looking for all of the grubs and ants and all that kind of thing. And we also found a big old bear print that had crossed over top of a log. It was muddy and had dried there.
That one I do have right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's that handprint right there.
Yeah, but it had stepped on a log. And
Picture of the handprint's on our website, and it actually shows, it's like image 36, but that's a picture of that handprint that she's talking about that was on the log that you have to cross over.
Yeah, the first time we'd ever been into Rough Hollow, we couldn't go very far because it was too earlier in the spring and it was snowing and whatnot. And earlier in the year, when we could camp, we had been to Yellowstone and Bear Wallow and a couple of other places. So this was the first actual time that we had actually made it up far into Rough Hollow to get to the Bigfoot Highway and see all of the footprints, because we'd never been up there that far ever.
No, because the very first time that we tried, it was in the spring, and there was a lot of snow. And then after we found the 17-inch footprints 10 miles up Sasquatch Canyon, and then other expeditions, we were finding the 14s and stuff. I mean, we had no reason to come back to Rough Hollow because we were finding evidence in that area, and then it dried up. So we started looking other places in the canyon, and we finally ended up
One
in
day,
Rough
just
Hollow
try it.
one day on the 31st of
Yeah, we just
August.
decided to try it.
And then bam, there's the 17-inch footprints again.
Like, oh, this is where they're at.
So I don't know, maybe they migrate up and down the canyon through the year. So in the spring, if Rough Hollow's not producing, we'll go up Sasquatch Canyon to the 77 sighting location where we found the footprints in the spring, and so that's another part of the database. Those are the places that we were finding them different parts of the year last year. So we'll see if it's the same this year.
Yeah, another point is I think that in the spring when we found that first one, the free rangers hadn't dropped their cows off yet.
That was before the free range cows. Oops.
I apologize.
That's all right.
It was full. That would have been funny.
Yeah, right all over Kelly, huh?
When we first found the first 17-inch footprint, it was in the spring, and it's before the free rangers had dropped off their cattle in Sasquatch Canyon. And later in the year, the stream that runs up and down there was very mucky and cloudy, and there was cows everywhere, and there was...
The stream was crystal clear till the cows arrived.
Yeah, and so we kind of got disgusted with the area. We didn't want to spend any time in it, so that's when we decided to try Rough Hollow.
It's probably the Bigfoots were thinking the same thing.
Exactly, and that's where all the nice clear water's coming up there from all
Those
the springs,
freshwater
the freshwater springs, and they don't have to deal with any of the cattle up there either.
Mm-hmm. The local rancher, the very first time that I met him was the second weekend of Rough Hollow. It was Brody and I, and he was driving cattle up, and Brody and I were helping keeping him out of Rough Hollow as he was driving them up, and then he come and talked to us, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't want him up there. It's too dangerous for my cattle up in Rough Hollow and everything." And then he said that he was missing 3 or 4 cattle, and he asked if me and Brody see any up in there to drive them out, and we're like, "Oh yeah, we'll drive them out for you." Well, we did find 3 of his cows up there by the Bear Cafe that we drove out of there for him, but the ranchers don't want their cows up there because it's dangerous, because the cliffs and everything, and then plus the local rancher also said that he has seen a couple of grizzly bears back in there. He has seen some wolves, and he saw a bear so big he don't know what it is. That's his Bigfoot story. He's so excited that we're up there doing Bigfoot research. He won't cough up a Bigfoot story. His wife has coughed up a Bigfoot story, but his Bigfoot story is a bear so big and weird he don't know what it is. So I think the local rancher has seen a Bigfoot in Rough Hollow, and they don't want their cows up there. So if Bigfoot wants to stay away from cattle, Rough Hollow.
Cat tracks all over in there too.
Yeah.
At the mouth.
Yeah, we've saw them all the way up. You saw a cat scat all the way up,
Oh yeah.
past
Mountain lion.
almost all the way up to Land of the Giants. That was right there on the side of where we were walking.
Yeah, there's mountain
There's
lions.
3 different generations of scat. It had come back 3 or 4 different times,
And in the same spot.
in the same spot.
It's like a territory thing,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, my tree.
Yeah, it feeds there. But there's a very, very large population of mountain lion in that area.
According to the Fish and Game studies in Utah, this Sasquatch Canyon area and the surrounding areas of Ashley National Forest has the highest concentration of mountain lion and black bear in the entire state of Utah. It's the largest concentration. So if there's enough food for the black bears and the mountain lions, sounds like Bigfoot's in. He's got plenty to eat if they do.
Yeah, it's
No
true.
question.
It makes sense for the high rate of sightings in the area. I mean, the sightings it's such a high rate of sightings that by the late 70s, early 80s, this place got nicknamed Sasquatch Canyon. It's been called that nickname that long by local hunters. The sightings, the footprints.
And there's nobody living there. I mean, there's a handful of people.
At the mouth of Sasquatch Canyon, there are 4 structures that people can live in. 2 are summer homes, and 2 ranchers live there year-round. And the rancher that we talked to, he says that there's some winters where he gets snowed in for up to 3 months at a time. So they have to have enough provisions to be able to shack up for 3 months because they can't get in or out of there because of the snow on some bad winters. So it's pretty remote.
It is. And it's just by chance that we found it. So it's nice.
We actually found it by following up on the 1977 sighting location.
It's true.
We investigate sighting locations and look for places close to them to camp. When we go scout them out, we want to find the spot first and foremost, and then once we find the spot that it happened at, we start looking for near, at, whatever, places to camp, and then we'll go spend a weekend or 2 in these places and go look for physical evidence and stuff. And our 3rd time in there was the charm, because our 3rd time back in there, we at the 77 sighting location is when we found our first set of footprints there, and it eventually led to Rough Hollow in a very active area.
And you know from where then, because there's other side canyons and
There is
a
lots.
lot more.
Sasquatch
terrain to go
Canyon's about 25 miles long, and we've just barely
touched it.
We've barely scratched the surface of that area.
Yeah.
up. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
It's gonna be a good year.
the beginning of Rough Hollow.
It's true.
Yeah, our best expeditions are yet to come. We're going to be uploading those expedition videos later on, and we'll do probably another roundtable or 2 about upcoming ones. The day that Derek and his son come up there with us is the best squatching day that we've ever had in our lives this year, whatever. I was just like dying. I'm like, it's his first time in there, and we're finding physical evidence left and right. And what I expected in my head before going up there, Derek is our web designer, and he spends a lot of time on our media sites and stuff. And a lot of times he goes on day scouting missions and stuff for us. and this was our
I'll
first
start
time.
taking cameras with me.
This is our
this
first
year.
time getting him on a big time expedition, and I'm thinking, oh, I've been talking up this place, coming out of here with physical evidence left and right, blah 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 blah. I just expected to get skunked now that we were bringing someone else in there, and we take him in there, and it's the best day of squatching we've ever had in our lives, as far as vocalizations, could smell it, footprints left and right, handprints.
Hearing it.
The rock structure.
Second 19-inch footprint backed up, leading up to the rock structure
That we were able to cast.
was in response to Brody and Jenny leaving a structure.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's a whole nother
Yeah, it is.
whole nother round table to talk about.
Oh, we're so excited to do it because, I mean, I was giddy. I was like, Derek, you're so dang spoiled. I've spent years and years of getting skunked, and we take him the first time in a rough hollow, and it was just amazing. 15-inch footprints, 19-inch footprints. Could smell it, could hear it following us, could hear it paralleling us, whatever it was. Something followed us around that day, and we could smell it. So it's going to be awesome when we do this round table.
I'm going to say it's me.
May have been because we had
follows me around, man.
we had it-
my whole life.
it was the first time
It's always something.
first time we had a child with us on an expedition. How old was Trey?
He's 10.
Trey's 10 years old, and whatever it was coming in close enough that we could hear it, we could smell it, and then it actually followed us on our way out. We found footprints of it following us, fresh ones, and we were able to cast one, and we'll show you that. We haven't showed on any of our podcasts, we haven't showed that cast, but we'll show it on the day that we do that
Freaking,
podcast or that round table.
You know, this last summer, over the 4th of July, took the family to Northern California, just on a vacation. Went through did the whole redwoods and stuff, but we went through, went to Willow Creek, drove all the way up through past Bluff Creek, all the way up to Happy Camper and stuff. Well, just out of the blue, we drove up, and when we saw the turnoff to Bluff Creek, we're like, got to take the turnoff to Bluff Creek. I mean, are you kidding
What
me?
Bigfooter can pass that up?
So we hung a left, and and it's kind of, I mean, there's a road that actually leads up to a pond, and then further on up to Bluff Creek, but it's almost completely overgrown with just trees and stuff, and it's just a nice cozy drive up the frickin' just up the mountain. It S's back and forth up this mountain till you get clear up there, man. Partway up this stupid road, we get hit with just a god-awful scent of frickin' something skunky. You know,
On
you're like, are you
Willow
kidding
Creek
me?
Road to Bluff Creek?
I'm off, just turned off the road that Willow Creek's on,
Yeah.
where Willow Creek is, and you just keep on following it up, and it'll take you up to Happy Camper, takes you to Bluff
Right.
Creek, and drops you off on Highway 5, basically at the top of California.
All right, I've been on most of those places.
So we took this side road that leads up to like a camping area or something where you go up and stay for at Bluff Creek and some other pond that's clear up on top of this mountain. Hit the stench, and you're thinking, are you kidding me? I'm at Bluff Creek, and I'm getting hit with some skunk scent, and I got my whole family. Shelly, my lady, 3 kids in the back. Got it on video. I'll have to look at it for it somewhere. Rock gets chucked and bounces off the top of my car in the middle of nowhere. Are you kidding me? That's why I say stuff follows me, man.
Well, we got to take you Bigfooting
rock,
more
man.
because we definitely need them to come in closer, and that's one of the best days of Bigfooting that I've had. Rough Hollow is just amazing.
It is.
Anyway, I think that's our podcast number 5. Back to talking some more squatching, and we're going to keep coming. We're going to keep coming. So,
Yeah, we love doing these round tables for you all. It's fun to sit down and talk about our expeditions, talk about what's going on in the community, the Bigfoot community.
we appreciate you coming and watching. That's what we appreciate.
Yeah.
So, thank you all, and God, until next time, have a good one.